Welcome to Destin Squadron Golden Ghost. Welcome back to Golden Live and my Golden Reacts at the same time. Here watching the official direct. Meanwhile, on my phone.
The world needs elite.
Oh my gosh.
Heroes to protect the innocent. Specialists to fight terror.
Oh. Oh my god. Holy shit.
The moment is now. Join Rainbow.
All right. Here we go.
The day is finally here. And the time has almost come for you to see the next evolution of Rainbow Six Siege. Welcome to the Siege X Showcase.
Thank you.
Awesome. My name is Patricia Somerset, and today I am here with a champion-tiered squad
Wait, the voice of
developers,
Ash?
casters, and creators to show you what Siege X is all about. You can think of me as a squad leader. Shouldn't be too much of a stretch. As the voice of Ash, I'm used to delivering commanding lines. So how about this one? All right, operators. You've trained for this.
Yeah. Oh.
You're ready for this. The mission starts now.
Oh. 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 Just destroyed a chunk out of the wall.
48 of your favorite content creators have assembled here in Atlanta to usher in an explosive new era of Siege. Folks, this is the Siege X Showcase. We'll be starting off showing those content creators. First up was Team Skittles. Team Meaty Marley will join next, and get loud for your favorite content creators.
We got a lot of familiar faces on that roster alone.
Oh my god.
So I'm excited to see what we got through and through to see the rest of these teams.
There are a lot of Brazilian content creators that you might be familiar with. It's Team Raza up next.
Got Team Brazil mixed in with a little bit from all around the globe.
Team Pestely's going to join them next, walking out of the large X. I'm going to be honest, I know there's a lot of you here. You got to be louder than that. Come on.
No, we just talked about Team Brazil. Now we got Team A and Z coming through.
Oh, by the way, this chat isn't my chat. It's the actual stream of shit.
Some newer to our scene, but I mean, hey, it's a new era for our game. Team Spoit is up next.
No, we've talked about Spoit a lot, but there's some phenomenal controller players coming from that Xbox scene here.
That controller player, by the way, There's a bunch of them on Stable Ronaldo, the next team walking out.
You know, I saw Kiki warming up. She's looking strong, but they also have Frankie there, Diamond 1.
Some familiar faces
right.
that you might recognize of this group walking out. The next is Team Lacey.
Very big names coming alive right there as we see one of our own right there with Uzi. That's my boy.
Uzi should be a familiar face for those of you that follow along online. And Team Pengu, a team of names that you've seen and heard before, but I think that's the controller players you were talking about.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't see Pengu just yet.
I don't see Pengu. I used to work with him. You used to play against him. My name's Intero. I'm joined by Laxing. We've been long-standing members of this community, and we are happy to welcome you in to what might be the most exciting thing we've ever done in Siege. On the left side of your screen, this side, because we're mirrored, you're going to see what we're getting up to today. We're starting off with a new game mode. Here, not just Siege, but something brand new. After that, we're going to talk about updates to the core of Siege, the game that we know and love and have spent much of the last 10 years playing. And then how about we finish off by showing those changes in action in Siege X in a 5v5 show match.
Honestly, Parker, I am so excited, to say the least. I don't know which one I'm more excited for. There's so much that we are going to be showing and exploring. And again, I am just absolutely thrilled to be here with you.
We've got to run a tight ship, so both of us are talkers, so we're going to have to be a little bit brief. But before we get into the action, I'm going to need your help. Do me a favor. Connect your Ubisoft Connect and Twitch accounts, because later on in the day, we'll be announcing a very special drop for everybody that's watching through either this stream or one of our partnered streams. But before we unveil what it is, make sure your Ubisoft Connect and Twitch accounts are linked together. I, as well, am very excited.
I think that's the only way to put it, put the emphasis on the X.
Yeah. It's going to be a quick day today. It's going to fly by like no tomorrow, and there's a lot to unveil. Of course, a new game mode is something that will surprise people. I think that the updates to the game are going to be pretty spectacular as well. But enough from us. How about we send it to two of the greatest minds at Ubisoft who have helped make Siege X possible, Alex and Joshua.
I'm back.
First of all, let's hear for Ash.
All right.
I mean Patricia, but it's amazing to have the voice of Ash here today with us.
All right.
Welcome to the showcase. My name is Alex Karpazis, creative director of Siege, and today is the day we finally unveil Siege X.
Oh!
And I'm Joshua Mills, game director. After 3 years of work, the wait is over.
3
and we're taking the core
years?
Siege experience to the next level.
All right.
We have a ton of details to share with you about how Siege is evolving with exciting updates like modernized maps, an audio overhaul, advanced rappel, and much, much more.
There you go.
In a few minutes, you will see live gameplay of those changes. But before that, we have a very first Siege X trailer to share
Oh, a
with you.
Siege X.
This is the new era of Siege.
Let's see. Dual front. Oh! Oh my god, you can actually use the map. Oh! god! Holy shit!
That's a lot to take in. Why? Over the next few hours, we'll cover all of it. We have 48 content creators around us getting set up right now with 4 live matches. And if you're quick with the math, then you've noticed that something quite doesn't add up. That's because they will be playing our brand new 6 vs 6 game mode, the first permanent new game mode since the launch of Siege. We've taken the strategy, teamwork, high-stakes gameplay that make Rainbow Six Siege so special and built a completely new game mode.
Oh my god, they just bammed out of the map.
Get ready for strategic plays, unexpected twists, and all-out action. This is Dual Front.
Dual Front is the culmination of years of hard work by our incredibly dedicated and talented team. They explored many different avenues and experimented with expanding the very core of Siege. In the end, the process came down to asking ourselves a very simple question.
What's it?
What
What if what?
What if we could expand the size of squads and have attackers and defenders work together?
Finka,
What if
yes!
we had one persistent round to settle the outcome
I
of
can't
the
wait to
match
play
with
with
less
my
downtime?
girl Finka again.
What if we could expand the narrative and universe in-game seasonally?
What if?
One of the answers to these questions was to design a brand new, ever-evolving map where the action takes place. Welcome to
District? District. Oh. Friday? Community Health Center. A fire department. Holy shit! This is insane! An SIA building? Holy shit! Neutral sector. Holy shit! This map is gorgeous! Oh. Oh my. I'm crying!
District is a new map created exclusively for Dual Front and built to change with ongoing updates. This map is uniquely designed to support the exciting gameplay of Dual Front and create new possibilities we've never seen before.
So I
Siege.
think Tachanka worked.
Let's break it down. 2 symmetrical fronts, each featuring 3 sectors, set up the main framework of the map. Teams must capture one front while simultaneously defending the other as they work their way deeper and deeper into enemy territory. The ultimate goal? Reach the final sector and destroy the prototype in the enemy's HQ. The map's layout balances open areas and strategic choke points, demanding coordination and adaptability. Oh, and when I say open areas, this also includes outside. Players will now be able to move between indoor and outdoor spaces, extending their defenses beyond the walls of the building and setting up for some devastating ambushes. So if you don't drone, it's time to start. If the enemy does catch you off guard and eliminates you, you will be able to return to the fight as your currently selected operator or select a different operator for a tactical adjustment.
Ooh, change.
Success hinges on balancing offense, defense, and team composition while seizing every opportunity to lead your team to victory. Which brings us to the neutral sector, a central area where a time-limited assignment will offer you the chance to shift the momentum of battle. Here's a preview of our first seasonal assignment.
Papa.
Intel has zeroed in on an available assignment in the neutral sector. The enemy has started the extraction. Move to intercept.
Oh my god. They're bringing.
Op 4 is progressing with the assignment. Move to resecure. Well done. Proceed to extraction. Excellent work. You've completed the assignment.
Alright. I'll be right back real
The
quick.
neutral sector is a high-stakes conflict zone where bold plays lead to game-changing rewards. Players can tackle the time-limited assignment that will grant valuable bonuses. It's important to keep in mind that taking this risk means leaving key positions open, as every operator participating in the assignment is one less operator in your attack or defense frontline. The race to secure these objectives is intense, and success in the neutral sector can tip the scales of victory, making it a battleground where split-second decisions and daring strategies can define the match. With each new season, players can expect a new assignment in Dual Front. This means new narrative, gameplay, and neutral sector map updates.
Dual Front was built from the ground
back.
up to use the strengths of Siege, while adding new twists. If
All
you're new
right.
to Siege, this is a perfect game mode to play. Everyone is on a level playing field with a single new map to learn.
Alright.
There's also a limited operator pool, allowing players to focus on a smaller roster. We will be changing the operators in this pool twice a season, so that a new exciting meta is just around the corner.
Yes.
Finally, we all know that every life is a lesson. Respawn is an important part of this mode, allowing players to experiment and learn through play. You can join the closed beta later today on PC and current-gen consoles.
Oh my god.
Your feedback will help us release the best experience for CJX.
Now that
Right.
you know what Dual Front is, it's time to see it in action. Let's kick it over. Let's kick it over to our legendary casters and see your favorite creators exploring and discovering all Dual Front has to offer right now.
Thank you so very much. The new permanent game mode that we were sworn to secrecy on. We couldn't talk
Oh,
about what
a
they said.
sworn
You're not allowed to.
secrecy, eh?
You know what? I want to hear how loud you can get. Now, remember when I said that there would be a surprise later on? Joshua just told you straight up, you can play Dual Front today. All you need to do is connect your Ubisoft Connect and Twitch accounts, and then watch about 30 minutes either on this stream or on one of the partnered streams, and you will get a Twitch drop of a beta code to try Dual Front. Servers go live when we wrap up here, so in just a couple hours.
Couple
And
hours,
it'll be
okay.
available
So
on
I'm not
PC
probably not gonna
and
watch the whole thing. I'm gonna watch as
current-gen
much as I
consoles.
can, but not all of
Kinda
it.
sucks for the people in the audience that you don't get to play, huh? Yeah, well, that's okay.
You know, I
Don't boo me. You're excited. Hey, hey, hey. But how excited are you for Dual Front? How excited are you for that, what looked like a weapon inspection? They got very, very loud.
I mean, respectfully so. You know, we finally now can inspect it. But I mean, for Dual Front specifically, I did get to try it. And I'm jealous that they get to play it now, and I got to sit here and talk about it because I truly had so much fun within that time frame that I was able to play. You didn't get to play it.
I didn't get to play
you
it.
Still don't know what it's like.
I have
but
no idea.
Truthfully, it's a wonderful game mode.
Would you say you were excited?
I was more than excited.
Wonderful. We've got 48 content creators here to take us through Dual Front, and in just a moment, we'll be getting into the game. And honestly, because I haven't played it, am just as eager to see it in action as all of you are. We'll be going through how the actual objectives progress. How does that neutral sector actually work? What are the rewards that they get? And how does the matchup ebb and flow? And the one thing that I am most particularly looking forward to is you and I first started playing Siege in year one. We have got to see this game grow from the very beginning. And if you go back and you look at Siege as
Hurt.
a regular game, the way that it was played back in 2016 is very different from the way it's played now. I have no doubt that Dual Front is going to function the same way. Now, in just a couple seconds, we'll intro our very first set of teams, and it will be fascinating to see how they tackle our newest permanent game mode in SiegeX. What are your expectations before we get into the match?
To be honest, there's no expectations that can be met. This is a new
give me a
game
moment.
mode. This is an undeveloped area where people are going to be figuring out. We're going to be understanding what it's going to look like, what we can see.
Team Lacey and Team Stable Ronaldo will be the first set of teams. We are in the operator selection phase, seconds out from the first look at Dual Front. Operators are locked in. Are you ready for the next era of Siege? Folks, let's get underway with our first matchup of Dual Front.
So this is already super unique. You know, when you start, you have the 6 operators that you are choosing from. I believe, if I'm not wrong, you will always be at the front, so you can always feel like you are the leader in this scenario, leading your team. But again, what's so unique about this is when you think about Siege as a whole, it's always been 5v5. Now you are adding that key element of bringing a 6th player onto that squad, which allows so many different ways to approach Siege and how you want to play it. And again, another big thing is you can mesh attackers with defenders.
Now, while you had some hands-on experience, and you are a former pro player and a former world champion, it's not your expertise that we're going to lean on here, Gabe. We have brought up both Alex and Josh from the keynote to help us understand the way that this works. Gentlemen, first things first. What a day. What a day. I mean,
I got back.
I think you were prepared for the audience.
Holy shit!
Would you say you were a
This
little
looks so different and awesome!
I mean, we've been waiting for this moment for 3 years now, and we're still not prepared for it. This is really exciting. The teams poured their heart and soul into this, and now we get to see it live in action.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's always a reaction, right? You hear the people, you get to experience that full hand. And
Oh!
it's so awesome to finally be talking about all this.
Oh my god!
The way that
This
you
looks
expect
beautiful.
game mode being played might differ from what we see today. But is it fair to say, Alex, that you're expecting players to literally problem solve as it goes along, and that there isn't really a defined correct way to play based on when you built the game?
I mean, we've been playtesting this for over a year now, and we're still learning new things, new combinations of operators. This is the first time we're taking attackers and defenders together on the same team, but we're keeping that attack and defend philosophy alive, where you have one lane, one front to push, and one front to defend. So yeah, it's all new.
Well, and as I was saying, you know, the key element of adding a 6th player to that squad, I mean, Siege for the past 10 years has been 5. I mean, what was the decision to bring that extra element of surprise and putting a 6th member onto that roster?
Well, one of the big goals we had with Dual Front is to actually make Siege more approachable. So, and one of the ways of doing that is to kind of lower that social pressure of having to, if you die in a 5v5, 4v5, that's a big detriment to your team. So in 6v6, you actually get to carry that weight a little bit more evenly. Additionally, obviously, the respawn's going to help,
right.
help people feel more confident and learn over time. But that's definitely a driving force there.
I just want to touch on something here, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but we've got our first objective at play. Would one of you like to take us through what exactly is happening in the game right now?
Yeah, so the attacking team has actually planted the diffuser, and now we have actual segments to the diffuser timer. So if the defending team comes in and deactivates it, it might save a bit of the progress that they achieved there. And this is one of 3 objectives that they have to secure now.
That would explain why we have the 3 segments on the diffuser.
That's right.
So if you stop it, it'll go back to the last tick, if we want to call it that.
That's right.
And then you basically paused it. So it functions very similarly to regular Siege in the sense that you have to control the objective, you have to get that diffuser planted.
And I love specifically that you guys talk about, you know, regardless of this being a brand new game mode, you guys are still keeping that core value of what Siege has always been in terms of that prowess and what you can do within Siege. And I think just being
I'm gonna
able to
wait.
bring attackers with defenders can really set up that strategical stand even more in depth than what we've currently seen in throughout Siege.
I mean, that's the magic of it. As when you're playing this, you have to go on the attack. You get the attack, and then you got to go into the defense within the same lane. So it varies up what you're able to do there. Like bringing a Nomad on attack. Obviously, we've done that 1,000 times, but putting her into the defense and making for the post plant, it's all about that.
It's almost like they're fighting on dual fronts.
And now we see that the other team has planted the diffuser as well. So both are active at the same time. Teams have to regroup, and understand how they can recapture the site now that the plant's gone down.
The red team succeeded, it looks like, in their very first capture. So now what happens?
Oh.
Is Uzi going to get it?
Yeah.
They've already lost one tick, as you talked about.
Yep.
And it'll roll back. So like that progress they earned and they fought for, they get to keep, but they didn't get all the way for the next sector of the objective, so that's lost.
And what I'm seeing now with the front A team, they have that first one secured. Now that timer is going. So essentially, does that now force them to now play the defense, wait for that next sector to open up, and then make that transition with that rotate?
Yeah, that beat there is actually leading into essentially a prep phase for that new sector. So our attackers in that lane are going into prep, using their drones, looking forward, or they could rotate in through the neutral sector over to defense and help shore up your own defense.
Now, I do want to ask you guys, because you've obviously had some time playing through it, what is your ideal lineup that you've ran the most, that you've experimented with the absolute most, whether that's on the defensive side or the attacking side?
They're bouncing.
They're bouncing.
Very excited to play the game.
Yeah, right. They're bouncing. Yeah, right. They are bouncing all right.
I like it.
You never experienced it before, and just doing that is amazing.
I'm about to say, you'll never hear anything coming from me in terms of Nomad with how much I love Nomad. I think Parker knows that as much as well. I played flank watch aggressively, so the fact that you can use those air jabs on defense to get those sound cues, to get that quick reaction, to net one of those eliminations, I mean, Nomad's massive on defense.
I mean, Gabe, when you played professionally, if there was a spot on a map to be as far away from the action as possible, you were there.
Absolutely. So you would have.
I was informed of the direction.
Find me at that neutral sector where I am not going to be in the thick of it, but I am going to be
Twitter as
trying
well.
to lurk my way through and see what is open and what isn't.
Now, one thing that you mentioned while talking about the game was that you're going to be swapping up the operators twice a season. Now, what's the thought process behind which operators you bring in, which operators you bring out, and will it be a full-scale swap? Are we talking every operator is gone, or are you just going to bring in a couple and remove maybe some particularly strong or weak ops?
Yeah, so one of the big things is we want to make sure that the pathfinders that are earned through our new challenges are going to be available at all times. Again, like you always want to be able to have some of your ops to be able to play, but outside that, we're going to be almost doing kind of like a crafted meta or ideas around that. Maybe we put a lot of hard breach up, maybe we put a lot of trap, or maybe remove both and see what happens now. Like, what can you do if you don't have electricity available to you? What can you do if you don't have, like, you know, a lot of area denial and so on and so forth?
So I don't think this was mentioned by you guys, but what I am noticing is I'm looking at the character, the utility. It's regenerated.
Yeah, this is a way that we can actually balance the operators over a long period of time. We're talking rounds are lasting about 15, 20 minutes. So you can actually stack quite a bit of utility if you don't have this new system. The team worked really hard on that.
Okay, we'll follow up with that. So are you saying that Capcan can essentially lay down 6, 7 traps at a time?
I'm going to take that one. So one of the things about regenerative gadgets is that you can deploy based on the max that's been determined for dual front. So some of those values may differ from the core Siege experience, but additionally, whatever your last place gadget was, if you place a new one, it'll destroy that one and then move forward, just to make sure things are in line.
Perfect.
You're telling me I can't put down 20 Capcan traps and just sabotage the whole
Yeah,
map?
I mean, if we rewind time a couple years ago, you could have, and let me be honest, like, you know, it became an HR problem. So
I was actually, I'm glad you said that, because I was thinking, I was like, what if someone just brings Mira and just lays down a lot of her windows and then immediately transitions off of that to a different operator and then uses them?
I'm thinking the Maestro. You just swap evil eye cams over and over and over again. You got unlimited laser beams.
We already thought of that. So if you're repicking your operator, the operator you were previously, all their gadgets disappear. And then you're jumping back in with a new operator to do a new strategy.
additionally, you can actually see as operators are being swapped out and respawning, they go back to being unknown because we don't know who's coming up in that lineup again. So that's another thing you'll have to adapt to as you're on the field.
I'm not a developer. I don't balance this game. I can only imagine how tricky it has been to find a way to make everything work. But before we get there, one of the beautiful things about having all these content creators in person is that we get to hear from them live in action. Patricia has an interview ready for us down on the stage.
Thank you, guys. I am here with Skittles. How you doing?
Doing great.
Skittles, I would love to get your first impressions of Siege X. How you feeling about it right now?
I'm absorbing everything. This is a completely new game. We got a big map, more operators. Like it's insane. I'm just trying to take everything in right now, basically.
Oh.
I can imagine. Are there any particular things that you're focusing on or interested in seeing in terms of the new updates?
I'm just really excited about the gun inspection. After 10 years, we finally got that, and oh my God, all the skins we have now, it's so worth it. It's so cool.
Very cool. Well, I won't take too much of your time. Get you back to playing. Thank you so much.
There we go.
Skittles does a lot of YouTube work, and I know that the weapon inspect element will be excellent for thumbnails, so that will make it a lot easier for content creators to advertise their stuff. Let's dive into the next matchup that's happening at the same time, and it's a little bit of the old versus the present, one could say. A former two-time world champion of Pengu versus a current major champion of Spoit, as it's Team Pengu versus Team Spoit. And there's a competitive mindset between these two teams that is, maybe I would say, unlike a lot of the other matchups.
Ah, yes.
I mean, how competitive can it be? I mean, Spoit's beating up on a retired old man of Pengu. Like, give him a break. Let him breathe a little bit.
I'm fascinated the way that this mode is going to be approached, right? Because Siege casts such a wide net. There are people who are going to play it on PC. There are people who are going to play it on console. There are people who are going to play it in casual, people who only play ranked. And then you've got people who are playing on high-end gaming PCs, and people who are just sitting at home, playing on their couch, listening to music, playing casually with some friends. And when you look at a mode like Dual Front, do you think it's the type of game mode that can catch all of those players and provide a compelling experience for each one?
Yeah, when we were talking about Dual Front, first of all, Siege is challenging. That's in our DNA. We'll never change that. But Dual Front makes it more accessible. You can respawn. You can repick your operators. You have more players on the table, so you can try out new things. So all of this adds up to a game mode that, honestly, everybody's at the same level, on the ground floor, and they're able to jump in and have immediate impact.
So I was going to follow up with, I mean, we obviously talk about the casual base, and me coming from that competitive background. I absolutely do love the approach here, especially as we do know, Siege is a very complex game, but that's what makes it so unique, so fun when you can actually learn it. But what I really like about District specifically is it's symmetrical. It does really allow you to learn from one end to the other of just the basic functionalities of how Siege is played, whether you're playing horizontal, whether you're playing vertically, so you're not getting confused. And for a new player that you can come in and be like, okay, this is what Siege is like. So then you bring that into the other maps. And then I did also see not every single operator is able to be played. And I think that also is huge because as you know, Siege has a lot of operators and continuing to grow as the game continues to go further on. So I do genuinely think this is a great approach for not only a competitive standpoint, but most importantly also
I'm doing it. Ready? Come here.
Yeah. No, I'm very excited to see the way that it shakes out. Have you two noticed anything that's happening at this current point in time that has caught your eye that you maybe weren't expecting at the tests you've done over the last year or so?
Well, I mean, I saw someone do a breach I literally have never seen someone do, like in all our playtests, breaching in onto the stairs of the second sector. Like, that side of the site, I don't usually see people like pushing through there. They usually push from top floor or walk up the stairs, but never breach the wall and jump right into the stairs. So that's kind of the magic of the map, right? So.
Well, we've got another interview ready from TikTok to Twitch, and now here in Atlanta, we've got Titanium Rollo down on the stage with Patricia.
Thanks, guys. You've got it solid. I am here now with Titanium Rollo. How you doing today, Rollo?
I am doing amazing. How are you doing?
Oh, wonderful, especially now that I'm with you here. I'm already like fast friends. I wanted to ask you, what do you think about the neutral zone in the middle of the map?
So I think the neutral zone is actually really crucial, and I think that from the times that we've played it, we've not focused on it enough. There's so much focus on either attacking a base or defending a base, but actually so many people go to the neutral zone that if you manage to get control of it, then you can kind of completely control the flow of the map, and I think it's going to be way more crucial than we've given credit for it. And I'm also hoping, since I like Easter eggs, I'll find a couple of Easter eggs around there too.
I wish so many Easter eggs for you. Thanks for your time. I'll let you get back to playing. My pleasure.
This is so cool.
Thank you, Patricia. Yeah, the Easter eggs that are hidden in all of the maps, by the way, are we going to see any in Dual Front? Do you even want to give that away?
Definitely first jump into the beta, check it out yourself, find them, because we have hidden some stuff around the map.
Right. And for a reminder for those of you, we're going to say this a lot. I apologize if I sound like a broken record. But the thing is that the more I remind you that maybe you might actually be able to get into the game yourself, we are doing beta code access for Dual Front. That is on right now. Once we are done with the showcase, you will be able to play Dual Front, providing you link your Ubisoft Connect and Twitch accounts, and then watch either this stream or one of our partnered streams. You will get the code after about a half hour or so, and you can start playing this game mode later today. I don't want to know what he's... Oh.
Jeez. So as a status update in the match, right now, both teams are trying to capture the second sector. And actually, I think Beta team just lost theirs. But there's an assignment that's coming into the map. That's the neutral zone. We'll have a new objective that everybody has to jump into.
And we have to grab a hostage. So while up to this point, it's been like the typical quote-unquote siege where you have to get the case down, now we're going back to the old ways of the hostage being involved.
Yeah, and not only just that, but the hostage is Dokebi, because we lost her at the end of the Assault on Hereford event. So this is where that narrative starts coming in when we talk about seasonal updates.
I want to say, so when you grab the hostage here, if I'm not mistaken, you have to bring it to
Alright.
the other side, the enemy side. So what Anne is already doing this wrong. She brought it to her, I believe, thinking that they are going to get that extraction, but they actually need to bring it to the opposite side and make it far more challenging than just as simple as, let's just bring it back down.
Yeah, exactly. It used to, like, you can see as soon as it got, the hostage got picked up there, the icon shows up to show you where the extraction point is for you, and the helicopters are coming in the next 30 seconds. And that, oh man, like, again, we're talking about audio and everything, hearing helicopters come in during a siege match, oh, it gets the heart pumping.
Well, I want to say,
don't board it though.
I want to say, me and you actually went through this moment together when we were testing this out the other day, and it is, when you were talking about the heart thumping, and especially, like, let's acknowledge you can play outside now. Like, that is a huge thing that needs to be acknowledged. You have a timer letting you know you're going to be shown. I mean, again, these operators, is just evolving a meta right there. All the shields you're seeing being
castling off a door outside? What am I watching?
Exactly. But no, like I was saying, back to that, it is very intense when you have to run to the enemy side with this, trying to get that extraction up while they're up and coming, spawning, holding those positions from outside, waiting for an ambush that you're potentially running into. You were actually doing a very good job at leading that. You were like, all right, Lax, I need you to get in front of me. I need you to clear this. I need you to clear that. And we did end up doing it successfully.
Yeah, honestly, like, regardless of we talk about the match being, like, the game of being approachable, we get real competitive.
Oh, absolutely.
You mentioned that Dokebi is the one to grab here because of the actual lore of the game. Now, there are a lot of people here at this event dressed up in cosplay, and lore in Rainbow Six Siege, yeah, give them some applause. They work hard. The lore in Rainbow Six Siege has steadily increased to the point now where, you know, when I first started playing, and he first started playing, there's basically none. Will lore play a part in Dual Front, and will the events of future seasons find their way into this game mode?
So that's actually what we're trying to do with Dual Front. Bring some of the story into the game proper so that you get to experience the story itself. And so every single season, we'll be weaving in the lore of Siege into the updates that you see in Dual Front.
Now, when a team does successfully extract the hostage, what benefit does that give the team?
Oh, they're at the wrong... Oh,
yeah,
no.
they both just did the exact same thing.
Do they throw Dokebi into the net?
Well,
Is that what they're supposed to do? I'm not...
But whenever they do end up getting it to the right, getting hostage to the right extraction point, and then having her airlifted out, you actually gain 2 sectors of the current objective or the next objective that you're going on. So if you have 1 sector left on, say, sector 2,
All right.
it'll quick.
There. Whoa.
Okay, and so that won't, so like for example, on Bravo's side, they already have 2 of those sectors, or not sectors captured, but they have, you know, halfway through.
Actually, yeah, on either side of the match right now, whoever secures the assignment will win.
Oh.
But like, they just have to get them to the right extraction zone, and there's only 20 seconds left to get it done.
And what happens if you don't complete this task? Then it just goes.
They figured it
Sorry,
out.
I'm too excited now.
And so this is actually an air tap, and they win. So that's the thing. You can either play for the neutral sector, or you can keep on pushing in one of the fronts and end the game as well.
Like all things Siege, you have multiple ways to pull off
MVP?
a win. We've got more. We got more games going, by the way. So this one is finished, but next one up, we're going worldwide. Raza versus Pestily. Now, Team Raza have some pretty formidable players on them. And I wonder how they'll be able to tackle Dual Front. We saw a more objective focus in that Pengu versus Spoit matchup than in the first. And again, it's going to come down to the way that teams tackle these objectives. Do you go for kills? Do you fight for each of the sections of the map? Or do you battle, as we just saw, in that neutral zone nonstop? And for the Spoit and Pengu matchup, the neutral zone was the way to go. They ended up winning because of it.
But again, that's the beauty of this being a new game mode, is there isn't a right or wrong way to play this. You can play it what you see fit, what you want to do. You make those tactical adjustments of whether you're rotating players or seizing a moment, seizing an opportunity, and then even collapsing and falling back if necessary. So again, we are going through and through to be seeing any way possible and played, because there is no developed meta just yet that maybe you guys are hiding that you're going to keep for yourselves, and maybe run into you guys in one of these matches and quickly realize, okay, this is what we need to do.
Whatever meta we've developed, it's going out the window as soon as players get into the beta, because players just learn the game faster than anyone else on the dev team, and so that's going to evolve so quickly we won't even recognize it in a week.
Well, his game is finished, so let's hear what Pengu's thoughts on Dual Front are.
I am over here with the wonderful Pengu, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today. How you feeling?
Excited. I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit nervous, and I came into it. I went 0-3, got no kills in the beginning. I was like, oh, chalk it. But then the teamwork started happening, and next to me started making some calls, and it clicked.
Yay!
Lovely. I'm sort of curious, what do you think about mixing attackers and defenders? How's that feeling?
I love it because it creates even more flexibility than before. Obviously, Siege has been about soft destruction, hard destruction. Now you have stuff like Capcan traps if you're defending, mute jammers. For example, Priest and I, we start defending the bomb site. He's playing castle, I'm playing mute. We're locking them out of the map, essentially. And then if we join them on the attack, we can play more aggressive operators like the Grim, for example.
Amazing. Have you found any OP combos?
I can't talk about that because, like, what if people, they copy it and they beat us, you know? So no, can't leak strats right now.
Oh, perfect. I'm going to let you get back to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Patricia. You can take Pengu out of the game, and his former team did, but you can't take the player. I gotta get my digs in. But you can't take the player out of the actual match. He's not even giving away secrets in a show match. Like, come on.
Saving strats for SI.
Yeah, exactly. He's saving strats for the next match. Team Raza versus Team Pestily is up next. A reminder about those drops. I mentioned that we have partnered streamers. Everybody here is streaming as well. And we've got streamers at home that are also co-streaming this. Tune in and get to enjoy the action. I know that you want to hear us, but you've also got other people to tune in.
Called out.
Now, that matchup between pretty quickly. How does that match up with your expectations of a typical game of Dual Front?
So, one of the interesting things about the neutral sector assignment is it randomly triggers in the middle of a match between, I think it's like 10 minutes and 15 minutes. Is that right?
It's like first 5 in.
Yeah.
So after 5, it can happen at any time.
So they already were pretty advanced in the match, and then it did end. So that's about the time that you can expect. 15 to 20 minutes is the average game length, and then you can jump into the next one right away. So you get a lot in a little package.
Hold on a second, gentlemen. I'm seeing something here on your screen. Does your outfit show up on the loading screen before you get into Dual Front?
Absolutely. You got to flex whatever you got.
I think it's called Skinner-jazzing.
Oh my god.
Raza, that's your own teammate.
Well, he's got to take off the shades. I think he's a little discombobulated.
He can't see right now. He's too cool. Too cool for school. That's something that we haven't really seen a lot of, right? Like, there's always been chatter online about, oh, like the player cards before the match should show my skins. In Dual Front, you've now made it so that when you load into a game, your outfit and your gun skin are shown off.
So I also did notice when you first initially start out, you aren't just able to quickly run in to a different sector. You are blocked off right there. Is that essentially similar to a prep phase, or?
That's exactly the intent there, is that it gives time for those in the defending lane to actually do their setup and get ready. It gives time for the intel to be gathered by the attackers. I'll let this be known that the neutral sector is always neutral. So if you want to frag it out as soon as you start, you can go and, do it there.
That's interesting. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people that love to hear you say that just want to get straight into the thick of it.
And just like regular Siege, or core Siege, if I can call it that, destruction is a huge part of this. You talked about it as well. But we just got to see it firsthand. A lot of these teams are kind of treating this like team deathmatch. How beautiful is that? That's the rappel, by the way, that was shown, that you can now swing around corners.
Amazing.
The very first time in our very first match that we just saw that, the crowd went wild. I don't know if you heard that, but no, destruction, it plays a huge part. I mean, a lot of these teams, again, are treating it like a team deathmatch.
So am I.
Here, you can reshape the map to your advantage.
That's right. And even we saw it before.
So, and by the way, at the end of this showcase, we get open beta access
sector before you attack
to the new game mode.
Where you need to, or open up where you need to, so that you actually lay the groundwork for the match to evolve.
So I did notice within these sectors, there are still default cameras that are up. And we've already talked about regenerative utility. Is that the same thing with barricades? If a team just is absolutely not
and I'm live right now, by the way, so
where they just immediately fell off, will those barricades come back up? Or is that through and through once that destructibility is there?
Wait, so where did you watch this at start? My live stream or
kind of the story of that match? So we allow that to be the permanent beats that had happened throughout.
Of course.
So if anything's being broken down, like we talked about the cheat code where you got a
I know. That's how I'm going to get the code too, and I'm probably going to play it later.
Second layer of destruction happening. But once
yes, I know he is going to want to play this. But I don't think he'll have access start off. I don't know if he's even watching it right now.
There's little tricks of the trade of this. Don't barricade right away. Wait for it to start being destroyed.
I mean, I did tag you three in the group chat about this.
See that the barricades are color coded, and that's because the team that has their own color can tear it down. And so you can see a sector evolve over time as the new barricades of the attacking team come out, because now they're reinforcing it and the defenders have to recapture.
We've spent almost a decade of watching.
Great work. Well, that will help us out.
Things reset. It's a little bit odd to see persistent destruction in this game. So, I mean, you'd see it in TDM from time to time when eventually, a map would be reduced to smithereens. But not only do you see it now, but it plays a much bigger impact than it does in TDM, right? TDM is a fun game mode, but here there's much more strategy, as you pointed out.
What do you think of the gameplay,
way you go about it
Coco?
will only deepen people's understanding of how to play this game.
Raza just displayed that of questioning whether or not that was.
You can view the screen from your hand instead of a monitor?
And then scanned it to see if it was, found out it was, and then shot that. Again, that's another thing as a veteran player, when you're going to be experiencing this, you are going to have to be so aware of the utility that is placed around the map, placed around the sector, because you don't know if it's yours. You don't know if it's the other team. You always have to be on alert. So again, it adds such another core development and process that you're going to be going through while playing this 6v6 game mode of Dual Front.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're just moments away from starting our last match of the day. Gentlemen, it's been great having you here, and I'm assuming you'll be riding along for that last one. But is there anything that you want to talk about that we haven't seen yet, by any chance?
Actually, we've seen quite a bit here that we haven't dug into yet, and we're about to, because there are changes that are coming that you might have seen in Dual Front. They're coming to the entire game. So we'll be talking more about that very soon, actually.
You're just going to tease people.
Yep, that's
You're
it.
not
even just teasing people, teasing us.
Teasing
You
us.
could whisper in our ears before you head out.
Admittedly, we had to tease them earlier on with the new game mode and all that special stuff, but good things come to those who wait. Our very last matchup of the day is upon us for Dual Front, at least. Team Skittles, who you heard from earlier, and Team Meaty Marley will do battle. Fun fact about both of these team captains, both of them started their careers hiding their identity, and we eventually got a Skittles face reveal, and now we know what Meaty Marley looks like. The question is, game. Will their gameplay be as handsome as they are?
Oh, yeah.
I think they will, but something that really
make sure
sticks
it's
out
what you
from
want.
both
All right.
these rosters, if you were to ask me, who do you think's the favorite here? I don't have one, for the simple fact that your boy Roy and Atheno look a little deflated in their biceps. I don't think they got their pumping for the day. So you're definitely going to have to rely on the 5 players, I should say, on each side to pick up the weight from both those two.
I have a slight suspicion as to what the devs were talking about, by the way, because they said there's something that we're changing in regular Siege that wasn't mentioned, but it was briefly shown on the reveal video before this. And then we saw what looked like a pipe on fire, which, as far as I'm aware, Gabriel, there's no operator who puts down explosive pipes.
No, there isn't, and I was curious of that too, because, I mean, you know, as chefs, we add tons of ingredients to our meals and for people to digest. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here, is that ingredient is now being added into the gameplay that we all know and love in Siege. Again, we don't have operators that are laying down these pipes that can be shot. Is he going to shoot it? No, he's not going to shoot it. Unfortunately.
And as for what that quote-unquote ingredient might be, the devs will be talking about that later on. I do like that we have a big mix of players here in Atlanta. You've got controller players, you've got mouse and keyboard players, you've got Siege vets, you've got former pros, you've got world champions, you've got people who, as far as I'm aware, might not have ever really touched Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, I mean, Narcoleptic Nugget, he doesn't touch Siege. I mean, look at the gameplay right there. I know we know him from Siege, but I'm a little disappointed in his gameplay so far.
This was the man whose biceps you made fun of earlier.
Yeah, I know I'm going to regret it because, I mean...
Do you think he could take you in a fight?
Yes, for sure. I mean, look at him. He's so locked in. Actually, I lied. He just missed that.
Well, it was through a wall.
Oh, was it?
There are outlines on operators as well, because as you might have noticed on the top of the screen, the teams can run the same ops.
They can.
So you can have 2 vigils on the board at the same time. We saw in one of our earlier matches, there were 2 docks on the board. And outlines are very important to be able to distinguish, is it a friendly dock or is it an enemy dock?
Well, I mean, that's something that you're going to have to decipher, like I was saying, with the utility that's going to be on the map. You're going to have to keep in mind a mental awareness of, okay, we're seeing it right
What's
there.
this? No, Macy, get off drone!
See, he's not, you know, he's not appreciating. Okay.
There it is.
Okay, so that's interesting. So, you know, we talked about operators not being able
do you
to
think
play
in any of
anything
your
like
gameplays?
that, but in similarity to a Capital Bolt, similar to a Goyo canister, I mean, this creates a completely different new look and what we can see in Siege X.
This has been an interesting matchup between these 2 teams. They're playing it very slow, which is in stark contrast to the first game that we saw that had Uzi killing everybody in the server. Now, they talked a lot about this neutral sector, and it's coming in pretty quickly. Again, it can spawn at different intervals. This one in just under a minute, and it'll be only 9 minutes into action. Will these teams pay that neutral sector and the assignment that comes with it the same respect that we saw from that Pengu and Spoit matchup? That is the question. Uh-oh.
Now, I am curious how long... Okay, so that flame actually does get put out pretty quickly.
It's not a Goyo canister.
No.
Goyo canister lasts 20 seconds. That looked like about 3.
I don't even think 3. Maybe like 2. But I think we... could be wrong. I'll wait to see.
You're
if
gonna fight with
anything...
me over a single second?
No. Completely unrelated to what we were just about to talk about that we might see later on. But I mean, so far, this game mode is intense. There seems to be constant action no matter where you're looking, whether you are the one defending or you are the one attacking.
Now, speaking of, Alpha has to defend against a diffuser that's been put down while also dealing with the hostage objective in the middle of the map. That's the assignment that has spawned in. So you've got 6 players on your team. How many do you send to deal with that diffuse kit, and how many do you send to deal with the assignment?
That's the biggest thing. You know, if I'm in this situation, I'm sending at least 3. At least 3
to which one?
To the neutral sector, to go for that hostage and keeping 1 on one end and 2 on the other, so that way you are still covering all of your bases where you need to, covering those sectors, making sure not only you can defend, but you can still attack, but you can still go for that neutral sector. And they're trying to go, okay, they did get it.
Varsity managed to pull it off.
I am curious if they know where to bring and extract the hostage here, whereas in the previous game, they were unfamiliar, which I think it's going to be the exact same situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth noting that everybody who is playing this game has little to no experience with it.
I would have done the same exact thing if I wasn't playing with Joshua.
Yeah, fair enough. So again, it comes down to learning on the fly and differing skill levels, differing platforms, etc. You will be able to get your hands on this beta for Dual Front later today. Again, link your Ubisoft Connect, link your Twitch account, and watch this stream or one of the partnered streams for about 30 minutes, and then you'll be in. You'll be able to play on PC and current gen consoles. Now, it looks like Skittles might be able to pull it off.
I think he's going to.
Funny, because we listened to the on-boarder, the don't board the helicopter.
But
when the literal opposite is the focus here.
I mean, it's up to that one Brit to shut this out right here and not make sure. And Skittles, I mean, my God, wow. That was devastating right there. And now he's going to go for it. I mean, again, this is a beautiful thing, once again, is where you're not just focused on the sectors. You do have to focus on another objective, which is, again, it's so unique, and it still allows you to be in control of any scenario at any given moment, to be able to shift, to rotate, to be elusive. That you can't just focus on one thing. You have to shift your focus in other places.
Look at that. Oh, wow. Would you look at that?
New players, old players. It allows you to constantly.
They just lifted him up in the air.
That's what Siege has been about.
Oh, wow. Would you look at that?
And what you learn about this game mode is going to change very quickly.
Yes.
Assignments will be changing. Oh.
Do it again, do it again!
Capture 1/3 complete.
I don't think they're capable of hearing us. But again, just to kind of underscore how this game mode will be supported, a season in Rainbow Six Siege is about 3 months, give or take, because we have 4 a year, just like regular seasons. Twice a season, the operator lineup will change, which means that for a lot of players, as you're finding your footing, things will shift. And then at the start of each new season, the assignment will change. Right now, it's rescue Dokkaebi, pick up the hostage, get her to the helicopter, save her, but who knows what's next? There's one thing that I've noticed that isn't present, and that's anything to do with secure area. If you look at the original 3 game modes of Rainbow Six Siege, you have the regular bomb, which is the whole premise of Dual Front. You have hostage, which is the special assignment, but where is secure area? Could it be coming next, or coming at some point in future seasons?
Well, we're already getting something brand new with Dual Front, and it already being a heap loads of different things involved. So we could see an entirely different brand new mode introduced. Well, I mean, you know what I mean entirely.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, honestly, everything's up in the air of what could be brought in.
And it allows the developers to toy with the game, frankly. The Siege X formula has been around and has been tweaked over time. And you're going to see some more of those tweaks coming up in the next portion of this showcase in the core gameplay update section. But you can't really reinvent Siege. But if you want to experiment, Dual Front is a great game mode where you can take those liberties and try out some new stuff, and who knows? Just as right now, original core Siege has influenced Dual Front, something could be cooked up for this game mode that is popular enough, maybe one day down the line, we see it in the core game. Maybe not. This is us idly speculating, but again, it gives the devs a chance. It gives the devs a chance
Look at
to
Macy.
talk
This is
about
just another
this
day in
new
the office
game
for him.
mode.
And of course he's MVP.
All right.
Of course. We've got our last interview for Dual Front with Fast Dan and Patricia.
Yeah. Ooh.
Thank you. Hey, Fast Dan, how are you doing?
I'm doing very good. I'm so excited to be here. The game's been a lot of fun. It's been great.
There we go.
Amazing. Thank you for letting me take the time to pick your brain. I actually wanted to ask you about strategy. How's the team strategy been? How's that evolving?
Well, our team's doing really good on the strategy front. I feel like, with the people that we're playing against, people said we were not going to stand a chance with some major winners against us or something like that. We played 2 games yesterday, 1 game today. All I want to say is we are 3-0 up in games because we are taking Dokkaebi as our win condition. If you get Dokkaebi and you Extractor, you actually get 2/3 off a sector, and that's been helping us win 3 games in a row, and it's been absolutely amazing so far.
Oh, amazing insight. Thank you so much, Fast Dan. Really appreciate your time being here. Can't wait for more gameplay.
All right.
Well, thank you so very much. And again, it's great to have everybody here under one roof playing this game, and we get to get real-time opinions on what we're watching, because we only get to see their perspective, but they get to play it, they get to experience it, and almost every single match played differently.
Yeah. Well, it goes into what I was saying. This is a brand new game mode. It's unexplored. Everyone is going to be approaching it entirely different, whether it's going to be here or you guys later once this all wraps up. It is an unfamiliar area for everybody. So again, there isn't going to be a meta just yet. Who knows? There might not even be a meta in general because there is many factors to take into here that we just have not seen throughout Siege's history.
And if you're new to this stream and just catching up to speed, the game mode we just watched, the new permanent 6v6 game mode coming to Siege X, is going to be playable later today. We'll be giving out beta keys to those who have their Ubisoft Connect and Twitch accounts linked together. So you can get the keys here. You can get it from the partnered streams as well. You just got to watch about 30 minutes. Then you'll get access to the beta code. It'll go live when the show wraps up later today. But we've got Patricia ready yet again. As I said, this show's going to go quick. I didn't lie. Patricia, take it away.
Of course, Siege updates.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Intero and Laxing. How are you guys enjoying Dual Front? Pretty cool. You just heard them talking about some core gameplay updates that we will be revealing in the next segment. So all that's left is for me to set the stage. Please welcome back directors Alexander Karpazes and Christopher Budgeon.
All right.
With Siege X, we're taking Rainbow Six Siege to new heights. Launching June 10th at the start of Year 10 Season 2, this evolution of Siege builds upon everything that makes the game so special. In the first part of our showcase, we showed you Dual Front, our new 6v6 game mode. And there's a lot more to talk about. Siege X will deliver sweeping updates across all of Siege, with a strong focus on modernizing our maps, refining our gameplay, and evolving our audio, with much, much more to come. At its heart, our philosophy remains the same. Reinforce what makes Siege so unique. Its deep tactics, intense strategy, and the thrill of outsmarting your opponents.
But before we dive into what's next, we want to take a moment to recognize those who have made all of this possible. You, our players. And I bet there's some veteran players in this very room. Your commitment and support over the years has shaped Siege into what it is today. And we have something special to show our appreciation.
Oh, really? You do?
Let's take a look at our veteran rewards. This is a special way to celebrate your time with Siege. For each year you've been with us, you'll receive a unique reward to honor your dedication. If you've been with us since year 3, for example, you'll receive 7 rewards from year 3 to year 9. And for those who have been with us since year 1, we've prepared something truly special. A new, exclusive black ice skin. This is our way of saying thank you for standing with us through every battle, every season, and every moment
Oh my
that
God.
shape the future of Siege.
We also want to celebrate your legacy in Siege with a special badge.
Oh!
This exclusive badge marks the year you joined the fight, a testament to your dedication and journey in the game.
Oh my God.
Whether you're a recent recruit or a battle-hardened veteran, this badge is yours to wear with pride. Now, it's time to talk about an important change that's coming to the game. Recently, we introduced crossplay, giving you the ability to play with your friends no matter which platform they're on. With Siege X, we're tearing down barriers, ready to welcome more players that want to experience the best tactical FPS. We want to make it easier to invite your friends to play the game. We want to continue to grow the community, and we want to continue to build this game with veterans and new players from around the world. Starting June 10th, with the launch of Siege X, new players will
June
be able
10th?
to download the game for free.
Okay, let's see.
and
Today
jump
is March,
directly
April, May,
into the
June.
Siege
That's 3 months away.
Free access will help grow the Siege community, but we want to ensure that Siege remains fair and protected, particularly for Ranked and Siege Cup. So, let's break it all down so you know what to expect as a new player and a veteran.
With free access, players can dive into our brand new game mode, Dual Front. Learn the mechanics through our onboarding playlists, sharpen their skills in quick match, have fun in seasonal events, and we heard you. Unranked is making its long-awaited comeback. Unranked offers a competitive yet approachable experience for free access players to test their skills and explore the new pick and ban system, which you'll see in action in our show match later on. Free access players can experience core Siege gameplay and access training modes, earn XP, and unlock rewards. As part of the new onboarding process, players can earn and customize up to 26 operators through play. Additional operators can still be unlocked using the currency they earn to continue to grow their roster. The most competitive playlists, Ranked and Siege Cup, are high stakes and reserved for those who unlock the next level of Siege competition through premium access. And as always, you'll need to be level 50 to participate. Also, I want to reassure our dedicated players. You will keep access to everything you have.
Yeah, you got it.
That's right. Don't worry, veteran players. You'll keep access to everything you've earned over the past 10 years. Your access to our competitive playlists, such as Ranked and Siege Cup, your progression, your operators, your inventory, will all be yours to keep and to continue building for the future.
That is a relief for me.
Your progress. As Siege continues to grow, we're not just preserving your legacy, we're refreshing the experience for every player. With Siege X, our totally revamped UI will be more than just a new coat of paint. How you navigate through game modes, browse your battle pass, and interact with Siege is faster, it's more intuitive, and more immersive. The UI overhaul also streamlines your experience as you track your journey as a Siege player. So whether you're a veteran bringing in new friends or a fresh recruit, we've revamped Siege's global progression system. Clearance levels, reward unlocks, and challenges have been improved, making it easier to track your progress and navigate the early stages of the game. Our focus was to make getting into Siege as fun as possible, while giving you the tools you need to learn the deep and rewarding systems of the game.
We're thrilled to welcome new players into Siege with free access. And we know that a growing community comes with responsibility. With Siege X, we're making sure the game is the most secure it's ever been.
Finally!
That means industry-leading player protection, fairer matchmaking, and continued efforts to encourage a positive game that welcomes everyone. First, let's talk about game security.
Last month at the 6th Invitational, we introduced R6 Shield Guard, our latest anti-cheat initiative. To catch up on the current status of R6 Shield Guard, let's hear from programming team lead Adrian Fraisse.
All right, the anti-cheat.
Cheating and toxicity have no place in Siege, and we won't rest until it's a thing of the past. At SI, we introduced our new initiative, Rainbow Six Shield Guard. Our Six Shield Guard takes a multifaceted approach to anti-cheat. Our QB system distributes different executables to our players, preventing tampering and issuing sanctions when detected. Binary hardening is the act of encrypting and hardening our game code to make it even more difficult to tamper with. Our security measures have rendered cheat makers' capacity to come back online much harder, with some of them exiting the scene entirely. Gameplay Violation, our in-game defense system that allows for detecting players performing impossible behavior within the game, like sprinting while shooting. This system basically renders raid cheating a thing of the past, and we are working to keep it that way. Our next line of defense, Mousetrap, detects the use of mouse and keyboard in console pools. Our final line of defense is data. We use AI and analytics to detect irregular and exploitative behavior in the game. With SiegeX, our Siege Shield Guard updates live without the need of a scheduled maintenance. Cheats will be harder, more difficult, and costlier to make, and cheat makers won't be able to anticipate security updates before they come in. Our Siege Shield Guard is a long-term investment. We're here to stay, and we can't wait to share more.
Oh, yes.
We're taking anti-toxicity in the game seriously as well, and we've made huge strides to make sure that everyone feels comfortable playing the game. We've doubled down on our mission. There is no room for abusive language and harassment in Siege. Here's Lancelot Satjay, Associate Director of Player Protection and Game Security, to talk about the systems we have in place.
We know that toxicity has become more frequent in game, especially with a constant increase over the past 2 years. But the good news is, since Year 9 Season 4, the past December, we are now seeing the first decrease in toxicity. This is thanks to features such as our rework reputation system that addresses recurrent toxicity while rewarding constant positive behavior. Plus, our recently implemented automated text chat moderation. Since its release in Year 9 Season 4, the number of unacceptable messages has been divided by 2. We are constantly working to improve and balance detections. We are also dedicated to protect potential targeted players with our privacy setting features. In Year 10, the reputation system is fully activated. It means that the most toxic players, the ones with a dishonorable standing, have been removed from ranked, standard, and Siege Cup matches as they were impacting 25% of games played. Players with a positive standing are receiving rewards and specific car backgrounds. The more constructive feedbacks we receive, the better and fairer our systems are. To do so, use the in-game code function or contact us through R6Fix. We are listening to your feedback, and player protection will continue to evolve to make sure that the game is for you, even more with free access.
Anti-cheat and anti-toxicity are top priorities for us on Siege, and I want to thank Adrien and Lancelot and their teams for their work making the game the most competitive and fair it's ever been.
There we go.
Now, let's talk about the maps and visual updates we mentioned at the 6 Invitational. We've been listening, refining, and working behind the scenes to bring you game-changing updates to core Siege gameplay. SiegeX isn't just about the new experiences. It's about making the 5v5 Siege you love even better. From mechanics to quality of life improvements and everything in between, we're ushering in a new era for Siege.
One of the biggest changes coming to Siege is our modernized map update. We know how important maps are in Siege, and we've been hard at work improving visuals, readability, and overall gameplay flow to make every engagement more tactical and immersive. These updates will enhance lighting and textures and be more in line with the dark, gritty tone that people picture when they think of Siege, all while maintaining the strategic depth players love. But words can only do so much.
Yeah, your words only do so much. I want to see visuals itself.
In action.
Okay. Oh. 4. And oh my god. That after. The jukebox is still there. Hey. What map is this? 4. Oh. Shit. The house. Oh my god. 4. Oh my god.
That's right. At launch, SiegeX will introduce 5 fully modernized maps: Clubhouse, Chalet, Bank, Cafe, and Border. After the season of SiegeX's debut, each new season will deliver 3 more modernized maps. We've done significant work on these environments. We've rebuilt the lighting engine to bring more realistic atmosphere with richer contrast and colors. All major surfaces have been redone, with materials looking more real thanks to updated, physically based rendering standards, displacement mapping, exposure compensation, and increased resolution. For PC players, that means an optional true 4K texture pack for the sharpest, most detailed environments possible. For those watching the stream, we'll be sharing all of these videos today at full resolution so you can see the difference. Building on the technology of lighting and modernized maps, we're also introducing a feature that adds a whole new layer to tactical awareness: first-person shadows.
Now you'll have to think twice about your positioning. If you're entering a room or passing a hallway, you'll be able to see whether your shadow is revealing your location to waiting enemies. This small but crucial detail makes movement and positioning more important than ever. The reason we can make all these changes and still ensure a competitive experience is because of a major change we're doing in making our enemy outlines updated.
When we talk about stealth in Siege, we want players to focus on how much noise they make, not how visible they are. We always want enemies to be clear and identifiable. The new outline system means, even with the more immersive lighting, enemies can't hide in the shadows. This is a big change, but one that over time feels natural and ensures a fun and fair game. As usual, we'll keep listening to your feedback and make adjustments as needed.
Yeah.
Another big change is the Repel update in SiegeX, bringing more options to the most unique movement mechanics in first-person shooters.
Repelling has always been a defining feature of Siege, but we knew it could be even better. With advanced Repel, you can now sprint along the wall, and you can pull off what we saw Callie do back in the Playbook story trailer. You can now transition around corners while on Repel, including when sprinting. Here's those improvements in-game.
Nope. Turn corners. Oh! Shade. Oh, wow. Oh my god.
Smooth cornering and sprinting makes rappelling on a wall and executing a plan so much more satisfying.
It's all about giving players more control, making movement feel natural, intuitive, and immersive. This is why we've also taken the time to update our basic movement in the game to include momentum as well.
There you go.
No more start and stop movement, but true flow and responsiveness. Let me give you a concrete example of this in action. Picture yourself moving across the bed in the bedroom gym side of Clubhouse. Before the changes, as soon as you ran off the bed, you would immediately stop running, drop straight down, and then start running.
Oh, that fixes everything.
With the momentum-based movement update, you will continue to run off of short drops and carry your momentum with you. This achieves a new level of flow and immersion in the moment-to-moment action of Siege. We can't wait to see the creative plays that these changes will inspire.
We've talked visual improvements and new movements. Let's dive into something that's going to shake up gameplay itself. Say hello to destructible ingredients.
Okay.
During an operation, every detail matters. Your intel, your loadout, your position, but above all else, your environment.
Oh. I'll be right back.
All right, I freaking love these things. Destructible ingredients are shaking things up in Siege, bringing fresh tactical opportunities for both attackers and defenders. These aren't just environmental details, they're strategic tools that swing the outcome of combat engagements in modernized maps and dual front. First up, fire extinguishers. You'll see these scattered across the map, and when they're destroyed, they release a thick cloud of smoke, giving you some quick visual cover, but that's not all. If an enemy is standing too close when one bursts, they'll be concussed, setting you up for the perfect push. Next, we have gas pipes, and these can really disrupt the flow of the fight. Shoot it, and it releases a controlled flame, cutting off rotations and forcing roamers to move. But here's the catch. Once the fire reaches its peak, the pipe explodes, covering the area in flames and creating a brutal area denial effect. And finally, metal detectors. You have seen these before, but they're a little more responsive than you've come to know them. Metal detectors are now fully interactive. You can disable them temporarily or permanently, giving you the control over when movement is detected. Do you disable them to sneak through unnoticed, or leave them on to bait enemies into giving away their position? You can even destroy them outright with explosives. These destructible ingredients introduce new tactical possibilities, giving players more ways to manipulate their surroundings and outplay their opponents.
Each of these destructible ingredients adds a new layer of strategy and creates fresh opportunities for creative play. Whether you're using them to gain an advantage or counter an opponent's plan, they'll keep every round dynamic and unpredictable. We can't wait to see the tactical strategies you'll come up with. Destructible ingredients will be available in modernized maps and in the dual front game mode. And we're not done working on destructible ingredients. We'll be listening to all of you to see how we evolve them in the future. Speaking of listening, audio in Siege is one of the most important tools a player can use to get a competitive edge.
I'm back.
That's why
There
we're
we go.
introducing the biggest audio overhaul
Oh, I
Siege
made it
has
just there for
ever
the audio
seen
overhaul.
or heard. Every gunshot, footstep, and explosion will be more accurate, more immersive, and more clear than ever before. You're going to want to turn up your volume and put on your headphones for this one.
I'm wearing
Get ready
headsets right now to
hear
listen to
the
this, so let's see. Let's listen, everyone.
In Rainbow Six Siege, audio has been overhauled to convey a greater sense of accuracy in order to give players more cues to reliably detect enemy actions. These audio enhancements add a layer of spatial distinctions, making it easier to tell if someone is coming from your left or your right. Sound propagation has been upgraded, with sound traveling vertically and allowing players to know if an enemy is pushing from above or below.
Ah.
Sound also propagates through openings created in surfaces, offering more immersion. Sound reverberation is more realistic, relaying whether nearby actions are coming from a big room, a small room, indoors, or outdoors, making pinpointing enemy locations more reliable. These audio innovations offer new tools to adjust response tactics, deliberately cause noise to draw rivals into an ambush, or use carpeted areas to limit the sound of infiltration, and use flashbangs to mask the sounds of powerful abilities.
Oh.
Making for a more immersive, refined, and satisfying tactical shooter experience.
Oh, that was beautiful.
I get goosebumps every time I hear the new audio. With this audio overhaul, every sound in Siege is more precise and immersive than ever. You'll be able to pinpoint gunshots, footsteps, and explosions more accurately, whether they're coming from the left, the right, above, or below. Intel makes or breaks great plays in Siege. With these enhancements, audio has become an even greater Intel asset and is more reliable than ever. Audio will be able to provide the intel you need to succeed, but to truly dominate, teams need to be able to share that intel, coordinate attacks, and call out enemy positions. But we know that not everyone is comfortable using voice comms.
That's why we're introducing the Communication Wheel, a new tool to design communication faster, clearer, and more accessible for everyone.
In the heat of battle, communication is key. That's why the Communication Wheel is so important. It's your new way to call the shots and keep your squad in sync. Need help with a breach or a rotate? Call out the spot for your play. Is an area clear? Let your squad know it's safe to reposition. Ready to make a push? Tell your team you are moving in and lead the attack. And when a teammate makes the right move, confirm it with an okay or send them a quick thank you to keep the teamwork flowing. The Communication Wheel gives every player the tools to share their strategy regardless of their playstyle, keeping your team one step ahead.
We covered a lot of subjects, but what about weapons? We know how much players love their weapon skins, and now, for the first time in Siege, you can check them out with Weapon Inspect. I know, we've been looking forward to Weapon Inspect just as much as you have. Rifles, pistols, shotguns, Siege has over 100 weapons in the game, and you can inspect every single one of them on the battlefield. Now is the time to flex your favorite skins and appreciate every single detail.
You're about to see all of these changes in action in a 5v5 show match with your favorite creators. But before we get there, I wanted to take a moment to speak directly to all of our veteran players and community. I'd just like to personally thank you for making Siege what it is today. I myself am a year one player, and the last 10 years have been incredible. Thank you for the laughs. Thank you for the revives. Thank you for the adrenaline pumping clutches. And thank you for the EMPs and cover fire as I was trying to open the main breach as my boyfriend.
That's
10 years of this game and the moments that have come with it are truly something to celebrate. And I can assure you that we still have plenty in store throughout the year to celebrate this momentous milestone with all of you. We've been building towards this moment for 3 years.
3 years, geez.
We've been building towards this moment for 3 years, and it feels unreal to finally be able to share it. Siege X marks the beginning of a new era of Rainbow Six Siege. This is our commitment to keeping Siege at the top as the best team-based tactical shooter out there. This is our commitment to the next 10 years of Siege. And this is our commitment to you, our players, for being here this whole time. Thank you.
Rainbow Six Siege has changed my life, and I've had many players from around the world tell me the same thing. Siege X is the continuation of this life-changing game.
Right.
And on behalf of the entire team, we're working so hard to build on the amazing legacy, we would like to thank you all. The stories you share, the friends you make along the way, and the passion you have for the game inspires us to always make Siege better. And we have one more announcement. As you know, our esports event, Reload, will take place in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, this May. And today we can say that we are excited to announce that this will be the first Siege competition ever played on Siege X. Everything we just presented today will be there. The modernized maps, the overhauled audio, the new rappel mechanics, the works. Reload will also be the place for us to share with you the full roadmap for year 10 and give you an idea of what's to come after the launch of Siege X on June 10th. Before we jump into the 5v5 show match, I'm going to pass it over to Patricia.
Wow. Thank you so much, Alex and Josh. Incredibly exciting updates. Wow. And now, a little surprise for all of you Ash fans out there. Let's take a look.
That's what I've been trying to figure out. Oh, okay, check your notifications. Yes.
Well, an awful lot of information, and I didn't really expect it to get so emotional, but to Josh's point, it's not just the devs whose lives have been made better by this game. It's both of us as well. It's many of you. We're not just a community. In a lot of ways, it feels like a family. And for the last 10 years,
the inventory page?
So many people's lives have been made better by Siege. So from both of us, a very heartfelt thanks to
yeah, but that leads me right to my
publishers, to the developers who
profile.
worked on this, to the people on the esports side of things, to the streamers and content creators, but most importantly, to you watching. Because we wouldn't be here without you, the community.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, it's a surreal moment to be in this historical moment, you know, a decade of Siege, and to think that we're now here with something brand new for each and every single person, whether from the beginning and to now. I mean, it is truly a heartfelt moment, not only for me, for you, and like you said, for everyone around to just be in this moment, to partake in this. And again, thank you to each and every single one of you.
And why don't you give yourself here in Atlanta a round of applause, because you've been great so far today. I know that there was some onion cutting going on moments ago, but this is ultimately a celebration, and you've been spectacular so far. We are not done just yet. We do have a show match coming up.
Oh.
I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
All the X jokes I could ever make.
I just complimented you. How are you booing me? I'm right. It's very hurtful.
Maybe weapon inspect? Oh.
I'm weapon inspecting my cue cards. They love it. That's a cheap pop. That's a cheap pop. A lot of big updates to the core.
You missed a lot of info. Probably the gameplay will tell you.
Now you'll get to see it in action in what is called Core Siege, the game that you know and love, the game that you've been playing for some of you maybe a couple months, some of you maybe a couple days, some of you maybe since the game launched in December 2015. We've decided to adopt another dev, though. We had both Alex and Josh on earlier, and now we're going to bring in our good friend Chris to talk about something else that is a little bit intriguing.
Yes, about that.
Since the
we did some of that last night too.
A fundamental part of Siege, and I am going to put some blame on you.
Oh no, that you're correct about that part.
Operators aren't available in certain games. We're going to be talking about pick and ban. While we talk about the pick and ban, let's get ready for Skittles versus Meaty Marley in our 5v5 show match.
Oh, look at that new banning system.
You can do better than that.
I feel like that was like the same energy. I'm surprised it's not as loud.
Chris, there's something very different going on the screen right now. Care to walk us through it?
Yeah, we're now seeing our newly updated pick and ban system for ranked, Siege Cup, and the returning unranked. So each team will ban one operator before each round and up to 3 operators on each side. This new system is much faster to get into the action as both attack and defense ban in parallel. It also offers more strategic options when planning your next round, as you can ban with the knowledge of which site you want to defend or attack. For example, if you want to defend basement on Chalet, you can ban Ram.
Wait, did you see that?
You can also act on information you gain.
We saw an upper cam version of the map, and we saw.
Off the table
oh my God!
Opponents to switch up their defense. We are excited to see how this shakes up the meta. You can ban more ops. It's faster, and you have more intel to inform your decisions. We have a specific adaptation of this system for our esports competition. You'll see the esports version of this new pick and ban system in action for the first time at the Reload event in May in Rio, Brazil.
Thank you very much, Chris. Is there anything you want to add just before we say goodbye? We've unadopted you now. You're free to go. While we watch the game, is there anything about the pick and ban that you want to touch on?
I don't want to really touch on the pick and ban because we already went over that, but I will say, once again, thank you so much to our players. Thank you for today. Thank you for coming.
I'm just checking over my Ubisoft account to see how long I've been playing this for.
And we thank you as well. It's a joint effort.
8 years with Ubisoft.
Who worked tirelessly for countless hours to make not just SiegeX happen, but this SiegeX showcase. Lots of people behind the scenes. You get to hear and see our faces, but we're not here without the other people who are operating the cameras, the mics, production, and all of that. So a heartfelt thank you to them as well. So
there we go.
You're supposed to clap. You're supposed to clap too.
Cut on at the end.
Now, one of the things that was touched on by the devs was that destructible ingredients, and we saw it immediately. Meaty Marley meleeing the fire extinguisher, and another one just went as well. Now, you can wait and let those destructible ingredients go off in the cut and thrust of a match. Or if you think that they might hinder you, you can get rid of them real early on. There's variations to it.
Again, it adds that core element of Siege that we all know and love, that you can outsmart an opponent. You can just get rid of it entirely. I love that you are able to, whether you want to deal with it or you can get rid of it right away. It gives that option, which I always can appreciate, that it's not necessarily forced. But again, the fact that this is now another element in these maps, such as Clubhouse, does change the dynamic of how this map can be played. For me, instantly, when I think about rotating, you hit that active ingredient to make those pipelines go off, to cut off that rotate, whether that's an attacker, whether that's a defender doing that, it just creates another element to Siege.
Now the team's on your screen, as you can see, on the bottom portion, Skittles, Eldon, Macy J, Varsity Gaming, and Yo Boy Roy on one side. And speak of Roy, you said his biceps looked a little bit smaller, but the man is carrying his team at the moment.
You know, I think he got his workout in. I think the blood's flowing in the biceps. They're filled now. I mean, he got 2K. He just hit a frost match, so honestly, leg day isn't looking too great. Can't lift that up unless you don't have a strong core, so we might have to take that back for the next round. But, I mean, it was like 1v1.
And Varsity clutches it out.
He took him to the academy.
They did. First round on the new look of Clubhouse. By the way, Clubhouse is one of the 5 maps that have received a visual update / visual overhaul. And as Chris mentioned, we don't just have the pick and ban at the start of the match anymore. You ban operators between rounds. So in round number 1, the attackers didn't want to deal with the Valkyrie, so they got rid of it. The defenders didn't want to deal with Amonte, and now they don't want to deal with the Blackbeard. Hey, let me say this. This isn't an esport event, but even the casual community says, we don't want to play with shields. Let's get rid of them. So Blackbeard ban and a Bandit ban, and the one thing that you can lean upon from your experience playing is a Bandit ban by the attackers comes in because you are expecting your defending opponents to go to a certain bomb site. Now, it looks like Team Meaty Marley will go down to basement, where Bandit isn't necessarily as critical. Kaid tends to be a stronger operator here, but no Bandit means that church wall downstairs, it's gonna stay intact and will require some other type of denial, which, by the way, Meaty Marley his team is not bringing at all.
Yeah, and again, it creates a completely
What is this? For those who are new to Rainbow Six Siege, don't do that. What is that?
Hey, it's okay to do that. This could be used in a way that we've never seen before.
Do you think that we're about to witness a new competitive esport meta?
Absolutely.
With a triple unreinforced panel and a lone mirror window?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen, you know, what haven't you seen in Siege? It's endless opportunities, abilities. I just saw 3 cap cans at the front of that door. I don't typically see that. So the fact that we're seeing a mirror on an unreinforced church wall, it makes sense. Going for a spawn kill here, but Ross can't get it done. But back to your point of just, you know, getting rid of certain operators through and through without each round instead of it being at the very forefront of it, again, creates such a different level in how you want to approach Siege. And that's always been the beautiful thing about Siege. It's you can't get too comfortable. The meta is constantly shifting. And I think we can all agree that you need to be on your toes when you're playing Siege.
Thank you to Rolo for showing us how the weapon inspect plays in. I will say, with all the changes we've seen, the audience did seem delighted at the weapon inspect. It has been
rightfully so, but I gotta also
very
say
well received.
The visual enhancements as well. Clubhouse looks
look at this. Look what they've done to this map.
You can smell it if you're in the lobby.
I can. Smells like a new build. Which, by the way, seems like CJ.
I am, yes.
Is. Now, we both come from esports, so we're going to take some time to actually cast this like a real esport match. We'll also take some time to be a bit more casual in the way we go about this. And all of these players currently competing know Clubhouse. It's one of the oldest maps. It came with the game in launch. It was the first map to receive an update, tweaking it to make it more competitive for where Siege was at. As the game evolved and we got more operators, maps became harder to defend, harder to attack, and they needed some refreshments. Clubhouse was the first map to get it. There have been a couple since, Oregon, Cafe, Chalet, etc. Varsity Gaming's out here. Farming clips, but it's
talking about Varsity just got put down.
Macy and Narco is the last 2 left. Diffuser running away, and a counter disable as Macy sweeps in.
Right.
And he blows the doors off of the defense. Macy as well, one of the OGs, making content since the game basically first launched. There's a lot of Siege veterans and Siege royalty, if you could say that, in this lobby.
Without a doubt, and of course Macy's gonna know how to play those post plants. I mean, you see his videos that he uploads. Macy does a very good job at capturing how Siege is played at a tactical mindset. He has a very, very good understanding of the ability to outplay an opponent. And again, for that post plant, easy, he gets it done. But again, seeing these bans come out, Now, the Dokkaebi makes sense. Vigil on a Clubhouse, little skeptical of that ban coming through. I think there are some operators on that list that you could get rid of that would help you on those defensive halves. But, oh wait, no, I believe that's the attacking half. That is my correction. I don't think for the attackers you really need to get rid of a Vigil on here. But again, the fact that you are now able to just get rid of these many operators throughout the game, it's a completely different look.
We are running out of time for you to get access to the dual front beta. So if you are just tuning in, hurry. Link your Ubisoft account with Twitch and then watch either this stream or one of our partnered streamers, and you'll gain access to the beta code after about a half hour or so. You hope that Team Meaty Marley are able to bring this one back, because typically Clubhouse is a defender-sided map. The fact that Team Skittles are already off to the races with 2 rounds is a bit abnormal for what we see out of Clubhouse. But hey, it is a show match. This is not the epitome of competitive, and most importantly, it's not an esports competition.
Well, I think it's just, when you look at Roy and you look at Varsity, he's kind of just taking him to school, and Roy's taking him to the gym. They're both educating Team Meaty Marley on some degree.
Yeah. It's a cheeky little angle that we just saw from Rolo in a spot that was popularized in esports called the Adam spot, as there was a player named Adam who at one point in time hid there as a Vigil, went undetected, and then got an ace as he came back. What on earth? Atheno capitalizing off of that. Rasco trading back as Varsity gets 1 for Team Skittles. I feel like I caster cursed this team, Gabe, as it's only Yo Boy Roy and Eldid as the last remaining. They'll plunge through the smoke of that fire extinguisher in the hallway. Marley lets the sledge of Yo Boy Roy swing by. We're not even a minute in. Rolo blows things up with a nitro cell, and Team Meaty Marley is on the board.
Let's go get the 2-piece with the C4 from Rolo. Again, that's going to be a TikTok clip that I'm sure she's going to upload as soon as possible.
They're all farming clips. They're all farming
I saw a finger. I saw a finger.
So, as was discussed by Chris, but Gabe, you can touch upon, when you're on attack, you ban a defender.
By the way, they did confirm you'll keep everything you've earned.
So, gone are whether you want to remove one or the other. Now it's just locked in. You tackle it head on. Team Skittles, whatever bomb site they go to, which looks like it'll be one of the upstairs bomb sites, CCTV and cache, they don't want to deal with the Thermite. Thermite is so strong on this bomb site, not just to open up that CCTV wall, but additionally to open up the other portion of the upstairs, which would be the jacuzzi wall or the construction wall. It's going to hinder the attackers.
Which we are not only seeing a bandit brought successfully, but we are also seeing that mute just for that little extra bit of reinforcement to make sure that any bit of denial on those walls is going to be warded off. But that goes into, once again, the picks and bans. That the fact that it falls off on the half, that you are now seeing what the other team had to go against, what that defending side wasn't successful with, you can essentially get rid of once you get to that level and know exactly kind of the approach and how you want to play your defenses or how you want to play your attackers just based on that first half.
Bomb located by attackers.
Looking like it's going to be a pretty default setup from the side of Team Skills. Nothing too crazy here. I am expecting Varsity to either bandit trick this wall, which I think that's what we're going to see here. He's going to bandit trick the server wall. And then the real question is, how is Team Meaty Marley going to play into this attack?
For those that are unfamiliar with Siege, and I mean, I suspect there's a few people watching who haven't had full hands-on experience with the game, when you reinforce a wall, it means that you need a specific gadget to cut through that steel reinforcement. Thermite is one of those operators. He was the one that was banned by Team Skittles. You see that Rasco, playing that ace, will have access to it. Atheno also has access to one of those gadgets. When a bandit puts down those batteries, it electrifies the wall, which prevents that hard breach gadget from going off. Varsity just put down a new battery, destroying one of the gadgets, but he wasn't able to get both walls in time. So there is now an opening through that reinforced wall that the attackers can use to their advantage. But holes work both ways. Defenders can use it too.
And the question is, I mean, we have a lot of intel. We've always stressed throughout Siege, intel, 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 and we have that not only with the Valkyrie, but then with the Echo. So it's a question of they have nothing to find these cameras. They have to be vigilant of where they're planting, where they're going to be trying to entry from, and seeing if they can find this intel, where I am going to be expecting Team Skittles to be utilizing that to the best of their ability. And we could see an engagement here happening in construction, where we do see Varsity go down. He's now getting taken to the gym from Atheno, and it's not looking too good for Skittles.
I mean, when you're playing on Bandit, your primary job is to keep those walls electrified. And
correct.
Varsity did that for the most part. To die early, we were about halfway through the round, it's not terrible. I mean, you never want to be the team to give up the first kill. Skittles does trade it back a little bit later, and then Roy will give the advantage to Skittles. They sacrificed Varsity, and I guess the rest of the team was like, yeah, we can play a little bit better. And they very quickly turned this around. Now Skittles is on the board for this round as well. Every single player in the lobby with a kill. The team's evenly balanced to this point. And boy, oh boy, what a heady task for Rasco and Atheno. On the right side of your screen, you see our free cam showing off part of the objective, but Team Skittles is just indomitable. Macy J closing out the round again. Team Skittles had surrendered the previous round to Team Needy Marley, but Team Skittles going back to a 2-round lead.
Again, it's that information game.
All right.
Playing beautifully with that, going for spawn peaks, running out, capitalizing on those moments like we just saw in that last, where Skittles jumps out the window, grabs that kill onto Atheno. So again, this is going to be important when you're going into...
I think we'll just call this a mission complete for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let's Pokelord out.